Good morning, guys. Good morning and welcome to the placement vlog. So today is day 3, guys. If you have not watched my 2 videos, please do go and watch day 1 and day 2. So today's day 3. As I said, I feel it's easier for me to document it daily rather than weekly, because then the video will be long and I will have to omit a lot of information. So today is day 3. I'm not sure what's planned for me, but I know that we are discharging patient X today. He was to be discharged yesterday, but he's going home today. So we're going to do our last observations, make sure everything is okay at home before we now finally sign the discharge papers. And then we have new incoming patients. Obviously, we're going to do the ward round in the morning and have a look at the new patients that came in overnight, and also look at the ones that need to go home today. So it is a very hectic, like yesterday I came home, I was knackered, and on top of that I have to do a lot of reflection, and I have to make sure I meet my learning objectives. The other thing is NHS right now, they're very short staffed. Honestly, we should have like 6 or 7 OTs, including bands 4, 5, 6 and 7 and 8, but we're only working with 3 right now. So my educator did warn me that today I might not get as much time with her. Yeah, but we'll see how it goes, and I will update you guys when I get back. So as per usual, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the car for the debrief. And welcome to day 3. Do I sound tired? I'm tired. So today has been one hell of a day. It's been a hectic day in my placement. So started off with a handover this morning, as we usually do. 8 o'clock, went through a list of patients that have been admitted and the ones that need to be discharged. In the morning we had our board. The board is actually called the HASU Patient Flow Board. That's the one. I hadn't got the name properly. So we had that, and obviously went through the patients that are still on red, and the patients that are red, meaning that they have not been assessed by an OT or PT or speech and language therapist. Green, meaning they're ready to go, and amber, in progress. So we went through the ones in progress to see what we can do to kind of speed up their discharge. Anyway, so after that was my moment of glory. My OT decided to throw me in, and she was like, you know what, Monique, today you're gonna make an initial assessment. Initial assessment is usually new clients will be read on the board that we haven't seen, we don't have any information on. We can only go by the information in the system when they came in, and the nurses and the admission paperwork. So I was given the stroke OT initial assessment format form, which is, let me just double check there isn't anything here. Yes, sure, that form over there, so you can see. And basically I had a list of things to look at. I was basically looking at the social situation, which I'll talk through in a minute, home environment, and previous level of function. So in terms of social, notes again, in terms of social, I wrote it all down, broke it down, and see if I can find the paper. Is it this one? No. In terms of the social things were looking at things like family and friends. So this is how the conversation went. Hi, good morning, patient, what we gonna call him, patient D. My name is Monique. I'm a student occupational therapist here, and I'm gonna be assessing you, and I have a few questions that I'm gonna ask to do that. So then you ask, so tell me about your home, where do you live? And then they'll answer, what, maybe I live in a flat. Okay, who do you live with? Then they will say, I live alone, or maybe I live with my daughter or my son. And then you will be asking you know, any, like, if they have any friends, and you know, just to gather their social setting. And then the questions like, oh no, do you have a pet? Because then that gauges you into if you are going to do an intervention, plan intervention. There's a pet in the house, you know,
stuff like that. So it gets you thinking. And then also you ask about the POC, which is package of care. Were they having carers coming in before, and if they were, you know, for what exactly? Was it for their mobility? Was it for their self-care? Those are the kind of questions you ask. And then also their profession. Are they working? Are they retired? And their hobbies and interests. So that was my initial assessment to gather the social aspect of it. Then I went into the home environment. The home environment is when you ask, do you own this home? Is it your home? Because just in case there's any adaptations that I have in mind, do I have to ask permission to the council, to tenant, a landlord, whatever? So you ask those. What kind of property do they live in? Do they live in a flat, a house, a bungalow? Do they have access, like if they have a wheelchair access, or is it just stairs? Do you have ramps and stuff like that? Is it a communal entrance, or is it like one with intercom, or is it like a personal entrance? Stuff like that. Then you talk about what level. So basically, when you're looking at home environment, you're looking at the physical layout of the house, and it's good to start from the outside to the inside, from downstairs to upstairs. So then you ask, you know, where your bedrooms. In the living room, do you have a sofa, an armchair? In the dining room, is that where you sit for your meals, or do you eat on the sofa on your laps? In the kitchen, ask about, you know, the oven. Is it using an oven, a gas, microwave, electrical? I know it's a lot of questions, but these are questions that I needed for a full assessment, to get all the information as you can. You talk about the bathroom. Is it upstairs? Is it downstairs? And if it's someone that has mobility issues, then obviously you prefer the bathroom to be downstairs, because then they have to walk upstairs. If they do have to walk upstairs, do you have any rails, like equipment? Has your house been adapted? You know, your toilet, your bathroom, which is obviously either upstairs or downstairs, do you have any rails? Do you stand, have a freestanding toilet frame? Is it a carpet? Is it wooden floor? All this information is very, very important. Then you ask your stairs. Is it like a straight stairs? Does it have rails? Which side are the rails? Are they on the right? Are they on the left? Because if you're impaired on the left hand side, and on your right hand side, sorry, and the rails are on the so if you're impaired on the left hand side and your rails are on the right, how are you going to be able to maneuver yourself? You know, that kind of thing. Anyway, so you ask about the bedrooms. Are they on the first floor, second floor? You ask, is it a double bed, a single bed? Do you have a bathroom or shower in your house or room? Do you use a commode? And stuff like that. So those are things that because today I went on to, yes. And then the third thing in the assessment for me was mobility. So I was looking at the functional level, the previous functional level before they had stroke, because then you need to gauge out if they will need assistance, or the stroke has made the physical function low, so they cannot perform their occupations. Yeah, so this is the part where this is like the bigger part of it. So, you know, we talk about independence. You know, were they fully independent? Were they using a stick when they're walking? Were they using frames? Were they using wheelchair? Were they getting assistance from family to get in and out of the house, or carers and stuff like that? Look at what is indoors. What do they use indoors? A lot of people who are elderly use like Zimmer frames. Is that what they're using, or Sarah Steady and stuff like that? And the furniture as well, just were they holding on to the furniture? Were they holding on to the walls when they were walking previously, before they had this stroke? In terms of falling, a lot of elderly people are prone to falling. So do they have a pendant, an alarm pendant, so in case they fall they can press it? Usually it's either a pendant or a necklace, so they can just press it, and that automatically connects to the emergency services, so they can come in and help them. And then we look at now their ADLs, their washing. How are they showering? Are they showering by themselves? Do they sit? Do they stand when they're showering? Dressing wise, were they independently dressing themselves, or were they getting help doing that, grooming as well, that's, you know, brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, washing your face, shaving, to, you know, brushing your teeth and stuff like that. Toileting, you know, are they able to, were they doing it by themselves? Were there any accident prior the stroke? Were they able to stand and sit using the toilet on their own? And how many times a night do they go to use the loo? Because then you need to know if the assistant is needed, then maybe you can offer a commode rather than they having to go all the way to the toilet. They can just sit on the commode, and yeah, nighttime, and then during the day they can use the toilet. Because we're not trying to take away the independence, we're just trying to make it easier for them to do things at nighttime. You know, you're tired, you're half asleep, so having to walk all the way there when you have mobility issues or you've just had a stroke can be a bit difficult. So yeah, and then I looked at their vision. If they're wearing glasses, then I can ask, you know, what the glasses for. Are they for reading? Are they for seeing? Are you long or short-sighted? And which one of the eye is your dominant eye? So then you kind of gauge out, and if they have had any surgeries and stuff like that. Guys, it was a lot of questions that I was asking, and my educator was next to me gearing me, and she was just supporting me from the side. She was like, no, go on, and if I miss something, then, you know, she can like point me in the right direction. And then I also assess their cognitive communication, their moods, their medication, how they'll be able to handle medication when they go home. I gave them like a piece of paper with like instruction on medication, and asked them to read it so that I know when they get home they can follow instructions. And finances as well, who handles their finances. This client, the daughter is has power of attorney, so it was easier for them to manage their her finances. So that was good, guys. It was a whole, I'm talking, it was a whole list. I've typed this, I had to type it so that I can remember, but it was very good. It was very educational, and I like the fact that my educator kind of throws me into it, and also asks me questions. She just fires questions, we call them, you know, fire questions, and she kind of gauges where I am. So some questions I might get right, some questions I might get wrong, but it gets me thinking at the end of the day when I'm reflecting. So that was one of the clients. After that, I had to write some soap notes, guys. So I got given this, which is a quick checklist for evaluating notes using soap. So today I mostly stuck with subjective, so talking about the client, what the client was. Subjective is, so SOAP is actually, let me say it, subjective, objective, analysis, or assessment and plan. So I stuck with the subjective part today. So subjective is what the client or the patient tells you. And then tomorrow I'm going to do objective, which is what I observed from the client before, and then, you know, go through an assessment, analysis, and then come up with a plan for the client before we discharge her either to the community or to the Barrett, or a different hospital the Barrett that she came in. So that's what I got up to today, guys. I got up to quite a bit more as well, and I actually sat through like a disciplinary meeting as well, which is a completely different department, but it was good to kind of see how the disciplinary and the discharge team kind of work hand in hand in the hospital. And what else did I get up to? I think I got up to quite a bit, but to be honest, this assessment kind of took over my day. It really did. Oh yes, and then we went to assess a new client, a new patient as well, who came in yesterday, but he was unresponsive. He was not alert. He had unlimited responses, so we had to abort mission and come back tomorrow. He really had a severe stroke. So yeah, that was my day, guys. That was my day, and yeah, it was a lot to take in. So me sitting here telling you guys how my day was is also like a reflection. So when I'm sitting down writing my reflection using the rough model, that's what we're using this year. Last year we used Gibbs, this year we're using the rough model. I'll come back to these videos and I'll be able to see what I got up to in the day. But anyway, guys, that's day 3 for me. thank you so much for watching. I hope you have learned a thing or two. Please do not forget to comment, guys. Comment on the videos, ask me questions if you have any, but also give me a thumbs up. You know, that helps the channel. But I will see you guys tomorrow for day 4. The week is almost coming to an end and I'm super excited about that. Peace out. See you tomorrow.